Hey, what's up everybody, it's your boy Proftrof and y'all suggested this. Y'all suggested this video. Mad Maxine Life is Tumblr by ER. I've never seen any of this dude's video, but y'all suggested this on the internet historian video, so let's check it out. I have played Life is Strange. I've beaten Life is Strange. It's pretty interesting, I'll be honest with you. I enjoyed it. Now, were there stupid shit in that game? Yes, there were. Did I enjoy the main character? Not that much. She was a little bit too much of a pussy for me. And her main best friend, Chloe, was a little bit of a... Like, Chloe has zero self-preservation, has the IQ of a fucking monkey, a stupid monkey at that. Yes, that's enough, I think. So let's check out this video. I mean, she was hot though, so I guess that's something.
Okay, campers, rise and shine, and don't forget your booties, 'cause it's cold out there.
It's cold out there every day. What is this, Miami Beach?
Oh, I forgot about Warren. Ah, poor guy. Got cooked every time.
Did you sleep well, Mr. Connors?
I mean, Max.
Would you like some
Hella?
toast?
What the fuck?
I originally had high hopes for Don't Nod, a Paris-based video game development studio, when they released their first game in 2013, called... fuck it, I forget.
Mommy told you! See what happens? This is your fault!
And everybody forgot for good reason, because its main character was tremendously bland for a retarded solipsist.
Not listening, go away.
Not listening. Not listening.
The story was also retarded, the gameplay equally as retarded, and the one and only unique gimmick was painfully underutilized.
I actually played this a little bit. I finished the first mission of this and I stopped playing. I don't remember why. I have zero memories of this game besides that I played a little bit of it. Now
The
that I
whole
saw
thing
the in-game menu.
was quite honestly a huge waste of everybody's time. But it had its high points. The art direction was stunning, and despite Paris being mostly a slum, like it's rapidly becoming now, I honestly wanted to live there. The setting was so cool. It certainly didn't hurt that there weren't any actual French people in it. Or Arabs. I would have sex with all of these robots. All of them. The soundtrack was glorious as well, and I'm generally much more lenient with things when there's good music involved. But overall, Remember Me was a flop, in execution and in sales. So much that Studio Don't Nod had to file for bankruptcy. I'm sorry, be judicially reorganized. So when Don't Nod announced a new IP, Life is Tumblr, I was truthfully a tiny bit excited. Perhaps with all of their talent reined in and focused to a finer point, Don't Nod could really hit this one out of the park. But my hopes soon plummeted when the first previews of the game came out and it was heralded to be episodic. And not only that, they ripped off the Telltale's game formula badly.
I will remember this conversation.
This is speaking as a non-fan of Telltale games.
This asshole thinks he's getting on my boat!
Ever since they moved away from...
Yo, I fucking love Telltale games. Like, I've played the Walking Dead one. Besides, I didn't play the second season. Actually, did I play the second season? She was still a child. Yes, I've played I don't think I've played the third season. I've played the one with the wolf. That one was probably my favorite. Well, Walking Dead season 1's my favorite. After that, it's probably The Wolf Among Us. That one was so good.
This asshole thinks he's getting on my boat.
Ever since they moved away from more traditional LucasArtsian point-and-click adventure games, like Bone, Sam and Max, and Monkey Island. But maybe, I thought, if Don't Nod was going to cut away, you know, almost everything that makes a game, they could at least concentrate on telling a good story. Sad to say, when the first episode came out, I got up to this bit before I laughed my ass off and deleted that shit from my computer.
I can tell everybody Nathan Prescott is a punk ass who begs like a little girl and talks to himself.
You don't know who the fuck I am or who you're messing around with.
Oh, he stopped the music. Oh no.
Then I watched the rest of the season by way of YouTube Let's Plays, because I hate myself. So yes, intelligent viewer, none of this footage is actually mine. For one thing, fuck, do you need a much better computer than I've got to record any of this shit? And for another, Life is Tumblr features so little gameplay that it'd be virtually impossible to tell that I even stole the footage in the first place. Aw yeah. Wait, there's just so much wrong with this game that I don't even know where to start. Well, how about the characters? We have Mad Maxine, a very boyish...
Bro, I remember I enjoyed this game. What the fuck? Like, yeah, there were bad parts about it, but my god, he's making it seem like it's one of the worst games in the world. Jesus. Is my memory foggy? What the
looking
hell?
hipster from Arcadia Bay, Oregon. She's a photography student at an art boarding school, and her claim to fame are her selfies. Not even joking. She takes selfies. She's lauded for taking selfies.
Welcome to parenting in 2015. They're all just completely
Hey,
transfixed.
look at all them top.
Her personality boils down to the robust decisiveness of Shinji Ikari and the fiery ambition of Katniss Everdeen. That is to say, throughout Life is Tumblr, Maxine does next to nothing of her own volition. She is little more than a personified reaction to the events surrounding her, and she's dragged along by the whims of other, more autonomous characters. She's the epitome of the self-insert surrogate. Also, and this is admittedly rather petty of me, her voice grates on me something fierce.
If I'm not looking through a viewfinder, I'm looking through a window. Always looking.
It's got that
didn't
wobbly,
mind her voice
perpetually
at
on the
all.
verge of tears cadence to it that drives me up a wall.
This makes me so sad.
It reminds me a lot of Ellen Page, but it's nowhere near that bad.
Different waves of representing women and, you know, more stories for...
Please make it stop! Maxine also has time travel powers. Well, and teleportation powers too. We'll get to that later. Next up is Chloe. Chloe is, to put it simply,
A
a
degenerate.
cunt.
Bang!
Jesus.
Bang, 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 bang. Hey, what the hell?
A bona fide, grade A, Cora tier cunt. Who could have possibly seen this coming? There's just so much cuntiness that it would take way too long to go through all of it. But here are the highlights. Is a high school dropout who apparently does nothing better than smoke weed and live parasitically on her stepfather's dime.
True.
Strings along Maxine in every crime she commits and
True.
pressures Maxine to abuse her powers when
Shot herself. Got her foot stuck in a fucking railway tracks. How do you even, like, I've passed above railway tracks, like when I was going to high school, there was railway tracks on our way to high school, so I must have passed through those I was in high school for 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, 5 years. I never got my foot stuck there. How do you do this?
whenever she sees
Bitch.
fit.
So we should figure out how to best use and abuse your power.
We'll steal from a handicapped fund. We'll shoot a man to whom she owes money and his dog with her stepfather's gun just because she can. Is incapable of doing anything herself and
this
faults
scene.
everybody but herself for her failings.
Chloe, you can't keep blaming me and everybody
She
for
can.
everything wrong in your life.
I gotta blame somebody, otherwise it's all my fault. Fuck that.
And so much more.
Stop treating me and my mom like we're your family platoon.
Hey, leave Joyce out of this.
I wish you'd leave Joyce, like now.
Oof. Bitch.
Then there's Warren, the White Knight.
Sensitive usually means won't be having sex with you.
Okay. Warren was pretty cool for a little bitch. Nah, he was decent, you know, compared to other characters.
Oh God. You need a sensitive woman to kick your ass.
If I was lucky.
He's head over heels for Maxine, treats her like royalty, thinks only the absolute best of her, is at her beck and call, and expects diddly squat in return.
And you've always treated me like a person. Not a beta nerd.
These are what a lot of adult men look back on and cringe internally at.
I'm feeling pretty alpha now.
Yes, you are.
Over here, there's Bitch, whose only
Yo, I
purpose in the
hated that
story is
bitch.
literally,
Victoria,
figuratively, literally, to be a bitch.
Now, why don't you go fuck your selfie?
Hold up.
Hey, what's with all the girls in this game wearing elderly woman hairdos?
You know damn well.
There's Nathan Prescott, a red herring. I mean it, his character serves no other purpose than to be a red herring. A blindingly obvious one, you nitwits. There's Mr. Jefferson, Maxine's photography teacher at hipster bullshit art school and residential serial killer.
Why? Why?
Why?
Okay,
Why?
let's be honest. Was anyone surprised by that? Like, there were so many clues kind of put there, like with him being like a fucking amazing ass, supposedly amazing at his job, but being in a little shitty ass town doing shit like there was decent amount of clues. Plus he was a cunt. You can notice he's a cunt in this game before him actually being outed as a huge cunt.
Start listening to me, you
Holy
dumb
shit.
cunt.
Yo, you can't use those words, they're offensive.
A real jerk-ass, and problematically, the only character I ever rooted for.
It might be cool if you took one of your patented selfies now.
Now, almost all of these characters are horrifically written. The dialogue in Life in Tumblr, I can say without exaggeration, is some of the worst I've seen in the medium.
Let's talk business. You got hella cash. You are going to get in hella more trouble for this than drugs.
You hella saved my life.
What the fuck ever? Get off my crack, whore.
Are you cereal? You have mad skills, Max.
Awesome sauce?
Amazeballs.
I love how my brain is able to compress these memories and throw them out in the trash from the writing in this. Like, I remember none of the writing. I remember most of the events in this game. I don't remember any of the dialogue in this game.
I literally just got chills all over my neck.
Not now, Max. I'm contemplating shit.
Good to know Frank has a
Yo,
knife on
that
him.
chick, you can save her from getting hit with with some sort of ball in the head. I don't remember if it was a basketball or a American football ball.
I just vaped some dank OG bud.
I fixed everything. Wowzer. Wowzer.
Wowzer.
Wowzer. I see why Chloe hangs here. She's a steampunk.
But this isn't anime or a video game.
It is hella cold out here.
Hella? I hate that word, no offense.
Really?
Hella yes! Hella best friends forever. Hella fucking paranoid. Hella insane fucking day. Hella stupid usually.
It's like a bunch of middle-aged Frenchmen set out to write a bunch of American teenage girls and hit it square on the money.
Ready for the mosh pit, Shaka Bra.
Yeah, you heard me right. Those of you who think this dialogue is either unrealistic, put on, inorganic, or ham-fisted, you haven't been around a great many teenage girls. They do, in fact, talk like this.
Like, oh my god!
I say this also as a man who attended a residential high school for the arts. If you ever want to visit a safe haven for some of the most self-absorbed, infantilizing, entitled shit stains on the face of this earth, visit an art school. Or Yale.
As your position as master, it is your job to create a place of comfort and home for the students that live in Silliman. You have not done that. By sending out that email, that goes against
Burger
your
Land.
position as master. Do you understand that? Then
No, I
stop.
don't agree with that.
Then why the fuck did you accept the position?
Because
Who
I have
the
a
fuck hired you?
I have a different
You
vision.
should step down. If that is what you think about being a master, you should step down. It is not about creating an intellectual space. It is not. Do you understand that?
Do you
She sounds like she's about to cry.
Creating a home here. You are not doing that. You're supposed to be our advocate.
Unfortunately, don't nod, realism does not equate to good. Realism equaling good is a fallacy that, yes, a lot of people fall prey to. But traditional narrative structure and characterization trumps realism every time. Speaking of narrative structure, Life is Tumblr's story is a ridiculous, nonsensical clusterfuck of a mess. But I'm not
That's
about
kinda
to
true.
make another feature-length film here.
Legend
so this
of
is the
Korra.
SparkNotes version. Chloe, the blue-haired cunt, strings a submissive Maxine along to help her find her friend Rachel. Abusing Maxine's out-of-nowhere magical bullshit time travel powers whenever possible. Turns out Rachel was killed by Mr. Jefferson.
And she keeps fucking how do you call it in English? Emotionally manipulating Maxine during the whole game by mentioning how she left her when her parents moved out of the fucking town that they were in. she left her. And I'm pretty sure she was like, what, 6 during that time? Yeah, her dad died in a car accident, but fuck me, bro, she's a kid.
Red Herring is the one who actually killed her, but what the fuck ever.
Also, it turns out that Maxine's powers randomly jump-started a mini-apocalypse for no reason at all. In the end, either Chloe must die, or everybody in Arcadia Bay dies for, you guessed it, no reason at all. There are a couple of subplots that pretend to be connected with the main one, but either aren't or are just barely. Here are the highlights. Bullying! A girl named Kate can be bullied into suicide. Maxine can either save Kate with her powers or let her die.
You know how humiliating this is for me? Eat shit and die.
Again? Kate was pretty awesome. She had a fucking pet rabbit that was cute as hell. I think. If my memory serves me correct, she had a pet rabbit that was cute as hell. Stop, please.
Can you find 5 bottles while I prep the shooting range?
I remember this. She shoots herself, yeah. Fucking idiot.
It's so quiet and primordial out here. I always feel like the forest is whispering to me.
You are a cunt.
Like Arcadia Bay is trying to tell me something.
You are a cunt.
I just have to figure out the message.
Cunt.
Oh, Jesus.
Thanks, Max.
It's just bullshit. Insightful commentary on gun rights.
Thought you believed in gun control.
Yes, I believe I should control the gun. It's the men who need to be checked. Jesus, I shot myself! Ah, I shot myself! Back up, back up!
Gun?
Papadoo!
Papadoo?
You fucking killed my dog!
Oh my god!
Max, your friend is a homicidal maniac. This is the point where you back up time, shoot her in the face, throw her in the river or the ocean so that she doesn't kill any more people when she becomes the fucking Joker. Do it, Max. Do it.
The Butterfly Effect. Maxine visits an alternate timeline where Chloe is not an abominable thunder cunt. Instead, she's a cripple in horrible acute pain due to a car crash. Life as Tumblr tries to pretend this is worse.
You're kind and sensitive when you don't even have to be. Grow up! God, you're not the only one in Arcadia Bay with problems.
Kate Marsh almost... Yes, Kate Marsh almost killed herself. Such sad, okay? That doesn't make me feel any better about my fucked up life. Get it?
You are a cunt. You are a cunt.
Niggers.
This guy's whole character.
I was eating.
By the way, Chloe's life is not that fucked up. Yes, her dad dies when she's young. That's about the saddest thing that's happened to her. Yes, that is pretty sad. We can embrace that. Everyone can realize that that is pretty sad. But listen, that is not the most fucked up thing that she has a loving mother that does a shit ton to try and, you know, make her life better. And most of the fucked up shit that's happened in her life, most of the fucked up shit that happened in her life, she is directly responsible for those things. I just want y'all to know, for all of you who have not actually played the game, I just want y'all to know that.
Those bees!
A Silent Hill-esque nightmare sequence where Life as Tumblr is actually self-aware?
I only wanted to do the right thing. No, you only wanted to be popular. And once you got these amazing powers, your big plan was to trick people into thinking you give a rat's ass. You're a goddamn hypocrite. You fucked up time and space for your precious punk Chloe. Do you really think she's our friend? That she respects us in any way? Man, you are so stupid.
Holy shit, can this be it? Is the developer finally gonna call out their audience on liking such a gigantic pile of shit? Nope. Lesbians. Kind of. Maybe. I'm not sure. It's not especially clear. And so much more insubstantial bullcrap. Alright, to get into specifically why and how none of these characters and plots come together would be an impossibly lengthy feat, so instead I'll focus on the central story / game mechanic of Life is Tumblr, Maxine's time manipulation powers. I love time travel in fiction. I could do a whole series of reviews for time travel across many entertainment mediums. I love that shit. But, let's be honest, time travel in fiction mostly sucks. Not because it's unrealistic or, God forbid, unscientific, because by most accounts it would appear that time travel is fundamentally impossible. So yes, in fiction some laws of physics must be bent to pull it off. The problem, however, rests with the fact that so few stories will stick to their own made-up laws. Here are some pieces of time travel entertainment that get it right. Life is Tumblr is not one of them. For starters, there's no reason given as to why Maxine suddenly receives time manipulation powers. None. So fuck that very much. Let's break down her power. Maxine's shtick is to reverse time a la Riley Rewind. When she goes back too far, which is only a minute or so, she gets a headache, and if her powers need to cut off at a story dramatic moment, she gets a fuck you nosebleed. While Maxine can reverse the world around her, she herself stays stationary. Well, not totally stationary, as her power would imply reversing the Earth's rotation and its 30 km/s orbital speed around the sun, so she's somehow moving in perfect synchronization with the planet. And that's fine, but this means that Maxine's manipulating both time and space, that she has the ability to spatially warp herself across a short distance.
Which basically means she's a fucking god. And she's a useless fucking god at that. How can you have that much power and
she's
be that
teleporting.
fucking useless?
To illustrate this, if a minute ago Maxine stood in one spot, but then moved to another spot and went back in time a minute, it would be as if she jump cut herself from over there to over here. However, nobody in this world acknowledges this. Maxine will teleport before their eyes and they simply do not care. When Chloe asks for proof of Maxine's power, a simple teleportation could have done the trick, but Life is Tumblr never thought of that, so it doesn't happen. The game acknowledges her spatial powers in a small number of puzzles, and Chloe accepts her teleporting at least once. But other than that, Maxine is teleporting all over the damn place and nobody gives half a flying fuck.
I never thought about
so what
that
does
one at the
Maxine use this
beginning.
power for?
Pranks.
No way! No fucking way! Okay, Victoria?
Don't mess with Max, bitches.
She can make herself a billionaire or god empress of the world, but she doesn't even attempt to experiment.
I'll be honest with you, if your boy had these powers, he would be playing fucking Cyberpunk 2077 right about now. Unfortunately, your boy does not have those powers, so he needs to wait for the 10th of September, hopefully. Which is, by the way, my birthday, so the game's coming out on my birthday. So I just throw that out there.
With her newfound powers. She barely even uses them to boost her photography career. Like, why wouldn't you... Fuck! Additionally, Maxine has the power to look into her photographs and teleport back in time to when they were taken. Why can she do this? I don't know. So why doesn't she stop 9/11? Well, that's actually a bad idea if you think about it. To do that would be to kill basically everybody born after 9/11 and switch them out for a different timeline of varyingly different people. She'd be a mass murderer on a much larger scale than the Jew. Why doesn't she go back to the earliest photos she's taken and take over the world? God damn it! Now, from what little we really know, there's no multiple worlds interpretation going on in Life is Tumblr. Maxine does alter her timeline into a different appearing timeline by changing the past and thus the future. For instance, from one where Chloe is a cunt and Maxine is unpopular, to one where Chloe is nice and Maxine herself can sit at the cool kids table. But since she has no memory of living in the new timeline upon returning to the new present, it's almost like she switched over to a parallel universe where she just killed the consciousness of the host body to replace it with her own out-of-time consciousness. But why would her affecting her own timeline prompt her to switch over to a parallel universe's timeline that she hadn't previously affected? I mean, it could, but there'd have to be some indication that that were the case, and that just isn't the case. But my Donnie Darko tangent universes! Look, there's no evidence of that. None. Even if there were, Maxine is too stupid to stop and even consider it. One has to conclude that this all occurs on a single linear timeline, where she's just fucking shit up and doing things like ODing Chloe for the perverse thrill of it, only to undo everything and uncripple her anyway.
How can I be responsible for ending yours? I mean, there's gotta be another way. See you around. Sooner than you think.
What a sick, twisted bitch. Anyway, for the sake of simplicity, we'll call this time travel model the modifiable conditions model, wherein Maxine can change the conditions of her past to modify her future. And in the process, somehow the butterfly effect / chaos theory doesn't kill everybody she knows and loves. Well, not immediately anyway, because as it turns out, the butterfly effect is actually in the process of very gradually creating a stationary super tornado with hilariously little wind speed to kill everybody. And in the meanwhile, it's getting off on killing birds and whales and duplicating the moon and shit. Which is dumb. But wait, Maxine realizes that the super tornado can be cancelled out if Chloe dies at the start of the game like she would have originally if Maxine hadn't manipulated time to save her. How does she ever come to that conclusion? Plot, baby. It's all for the plot. But why is killing Chloe, and only Chloe, the only way to stop the tornado and save Arcadia Bay? Where's the direct correlation? What's to stop Maxine from using her powers to, say, dump a bucket of paint on these bitches later on? And why wouldn't that have a catastrophic butterfly effect? Why didn't anything else she manipulated have the same sort of effect? Why did anything happen in this game at all? There are a lot more issues that I had with Life in Tumblr's time travel, but they get fairly complicated. Like when Maxine changes the original timeline to the Cripple Chloe timeline, did she just pop back into existence without previously existing in that timeline somehow, or did she kill and replace the Cripple Chloe Maxine? But since Cripple Chloe Maxine had time powers, because there's no reason to assume she wouldn't, why wouldn't Cripple Chloe Maxine make changes to her own past to kill and replace other Maxines before the original Maxine could kill and replace her? So is the Cripple Chloe timeline the result of a single altered moment of the original timeline, or the result of numerous alterations made by numerous recursive Maxines to numerous recursive timelines? And if that's the case, how come none of these recursive Maxines killed the original Maxine, or was the original Maxine killed a long time ago? Timeline future Maxine not killed the original and never happens to the new timeline. You get my gist. The time
made it a joke, but that was actually a very interesting thought to follow. Like, that makes sense, kind of. I mean, it actually makes sense, but yeah, I don't think the game ever takes itself that seriously.
Travel is broken and stupid, and Maxine is fucking ignorant. And that's not even the worst part.
Chloe! I can't make this choice! No, Max. You're the only one who can.
Yes, Max, you're the supreme ruler of the time powers. Use them, bitch. Or don't. By the way, for anyone that doesn't know, it's Max.
That's right. Only one decision matters to the story. One. No matter what you do, no matter how you play the game, you will only ever arrive at this singular, all-encompassing decision. And here it is. Kill the cunt, save the bae. Keep her alive, kill everybody else. Gee, I don't know if I can decide between the... So really, your only choices are negating approximately 14 to 19 hours of gameplay by resetting the timeline, or negating approximately 14 to 19 hours of gameplay by letting everybody die because you should have reset the timeline, you fuck. Even Telltale can't top this level of hack chicanery. When you kill Chloe, well, you get to go all lesbians. Who would have guessed? And then Maxine kills and replaces her past self to ensure that Chloe is shot in a filthy high school bathroom.
It's the powers of best friendship. I know how you roll.
Hold up, but if Maxine never manipulated time to save Chloe, then she would have never had to go back in time to stop herself from manipulating time to save Chloe, so how does that plot? Just plot. Life is Tumblr tries to make us care about Chloe dying with an overextended funeral scene where everybody who didn't eat...
That's actually true. Why didn't she just turn back time and stop her from going in the bathroom?
Even know her shows up for some fucking reason. All the while, there's this god-awful hipster music playing over it.
Okay, buddy.
What happened, Don't None? The other ending, which the developers clearly didn't anticipate anybody choosing, is a much shorter sequence where Maxine and Chloe drive through the wreckage of Arcadia Bay with more god-awful hipster music. The looks on their faces after they see that they've killed everybody, though.
Priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's
hella cash.
And to think, this was Don't Nod's first real success. This is what garnered them attention and acclaim. And so this is what they will make more of. Not necessarily out of any desire to, but because of supply and demand. They will pump out more of this sewage, and then more, and even more, and collectively will metastasize, like a series of tumors, embedding itself further and further into the decaying underbelly of the video game industry. Mimics will rise from its putrid residue, just as Life is Tumblr came spewing out of the odious slime trails of Telltale Games.
That was a good game,
and
though.
These imitations will become ever more cheaper, ever more artificial, ever more stagnant. But nonetheless, they will compound into the pus-filled, rotting mass that has become narrative-driven gaming, and you will do nothing but lay back on your haunches, eyes glazed, imbibing what dripping excess you can from its floppy, sunken taint, because you've made your stinking, festering, insipid bed, and you will lie obediently in it as the world around you goes dark. Hell out of 10. Game of the year. Choices totally mattered. Would steal from the handicapped fund again.
Good job!
Okay, that was Mad Maxine Life is Tumblr. Let me know what y'all think about Life is Strange. I don't think I can play these types of game anymore. Like at this point that I'm in my life. Like when I played it, I was a lot younger. I don't remember when this game came out, but I had a different mindset. Like back then, when I play a shitty game, I can kind of turn off my brain a little bit and ignore the shitty parts, and they wouldn't annoy me that much, and I would still enjoy the game. Nowadays, it's a lot harder for me to do that. I don't know why. I don't know what changed in me. I don't know how that happened, but nowadays it's a lot harder for me to play shittier games. I don't know why. I don't know how I got to this point in my life, but I mean, it is what it is. Some would call it growing up, some would call it, I don't know what the fuck some would call it. Let me know what y'all think about the game, and what y'all think about this video. Should we do more of these guys? I don't know. I enjoyed this. I'm gonna be honest with you, I enjoyed this video. So fuck it. Might check him out some more. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time, everybody. Have a nice fucking day.